We're here at the 2024 Heartland Farm Toy Show in Altoona, Iowa, and Jim Belkey has brought another display for us here. Jim, kind of quickly talk about this year's display. It looks like it's bigger than usual. What's the dimensions and kind of what's the theme?
Well, this year, instead of doing a traditional like field and a farm look, I went with more of an ag center business, and the dimensions are about 4 foot deep by 16 foot long, and we do that so that we can get it in the Chevy Tahoe easily and stack it up and just kind of get everything in one piece in one vehicle here. Probably the best is to go with the flow here. We'll start by this road divider, so people will enter the business here. They can either drive right on the asphalt here, and then if say they're going to bring soybeans into the elevator, they can go to the right here, go on the weigh scale, they'll test for moisture, and then they'll just start lining up and get unloaded and go out the back way.
Gotcha. All right, so right away here you got kind of like the weigh scale. Nice matching truck with the shed. Looks like somebody's even going to be in the window and test the probe there. You custom made this scale?
Yep. Just on a little piece of wood and put some safety posts on, and just to get a look of a scale. The probe works. It does turn to go right in the wagons.
Nice. Okay, and then what you said after they weigh, this is kind of the line. You got the newer and the older, kind of just because of
the old. I wanted to use the old elevator look, and you can see that it has a smaller door. So these smaller tractors with no cabs and smaller wagons will be able to get in there and out just like that older truck. But these big trucks and big wagons have to use the newer part.
I think a lot of people would be curious, what do you use for like your beans here? It's almost pretty realistic.
That's just mustard seed. Any grocery store has that. It just adds a nice quick look.
Gotcha. Even got the farmer, maybe since he's waiting, coming out, just taking a look.
Yep.
A lot of older, newer wagons, a little mix, and not really. What is this here?
These are seed bin hoppers for soybeans. So when the seed comes in, it's raw, and they elevate them in here. And then I just made this quick. This is on a piece of wood, but you can visualize, say their soybeans are dumped in here. This is like a 3-section piece. The soybeans go in here, and then I just put a bolt in the wood right up against the shed, and then the beans are augered into the shed, and then they're treated with a seed treatment, and then they're bagged up in the shed, and then they're to sold.
Gotcha. Also looks too, it's like on a little riverside. You got a train. Pretty realistic. How did that river? What did you make there?
That's just plexiglass. Nothing fancy. I could have done a little bit better in the river, but at least it's a good visual.
Kind of flowing out.
Flowing out, train track, and just loading soybeans on the train right out of the elevator.
Even got like custom stilts there, or like steel.
These are just reinforcement girts for the bridge.
Got it.
Because the trains are heavy, soybeans are heavy, just a safety, steel pieces on each end.
All right. Looks like the train's loaded up, just about to leave. Very cool. We got the bin site here happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of different bins, different sizes, different decals, and I'll try to represent a lot of the companies. I know I missed some, but I couldn't find decals for them.
We got Butler, got MFS, another Butler,
Souk Up, Easy Flow, Brock.
Yeah.
Over here on this side, Jack, there's a couple of Sioux bins, matching bins with this Balin bin structure also. Some years they made them square like this.
Yep.
And we built that up just another 6 inches just in case the water would get high. It's 6 inches higher off the ground on cement.
Yeah. Nice. Nice little background hillside too. Got the truck coming out there, empty. And how about over here?
Now over here, you notice that was the grain elevator. This is an old feed mill. So we tried to get like you see the guy there with the wheelbarrow bringing some feed sacks out?
Oh yeah, very realistic.
And this is like a holding bin for corn, and then this is a Grain Systems International grain leg and a little kind of a wet holding bin.
Yeah.
And it just it's a smaller feed mill to utilize for feed for all the farmers in the area, because there is a lot of livestock in this area.
Got a little LP heater. It's even weathered. It's kind of rustic.
Yes.
It looks rusty. It's got the faded logo from probably years ago. And
Right.
here, main piece right away. If you're watching this video, I've never seen this before. Kind of talk about this, like the Ag Center Co-op, you know, just kind of like the fertilizer plant. Like,
Right.
where did you get it? Why did you get these colors?
I guess.
Did you make it yourself?
No, the reason I wanted this, because I had this ag business in my mind, is I had the old elevator, I had the feed mill, but I wanted to kind of, like, the business started years back and we're trying to preserve the old buildings, and then they built bins as time went on. And as the business grew, the farms grew, they needed more bigger fertilizer facility. So I had a gentleman up in Rice, Minnesota. He made this for me. It's a dry fertilizer building, and semis can go in and out of this door, and there's in and out of this door to flow with the rest of the setup in the driveways.
Yeah.
And I went with this look because there's so many places in Minnesota, Iowa, or Wisconsin, or elsewhere too, that have this look with the tan, the blue top. There's a grain leg in here. It mixes the fertilizer the way the farmers want it.
Yep. Very detailed. Like you said, you got your little tender truck. Look at that. You got was that a woman holding a baby, trying to heat up next to that LP heater next to the door, taking a little break maybe. Ladder. Very cool. How about this? Where did you get? Looks like a farmer's even leaving some fertilizer.
Yeah, this farmer's got his soybeans harvested, and he's going to put some fertilizer on the land yet. There's a grain tender truck, or a fertilizer tender truck, going to bring some fertilizer out to this spreader. See, he's leaving. Now he's going to go to a farm maybe 6 or 7 miles from here. Once this is empty, this truck is going to meet him, and they're going to auger that fertilizer into this spreader so he can keep going.
Mm-hmm. There you got a truck and a trailer going to weigh. Got some other equipment. Some sprayers, discs. And what's this again? Remind me?
This is a seed delivery system. You can go out to the field, there's seed in here, and they can auger into the planter.
Okay.
The reason you see some of this equipment on here, because, I mean, mostly it's fertilizer and chemicals for spraying in the land, but we also, if you look on that sign, they have sprint and fall tillage options. So we help farmers out with chisel plowing. And then, like, even, you see that Magnum on the end going out the driveway, Jack?
Yep.
That's a vertical tillage tool now. A lot of farmers are, after the corn is harvested, they go over the corn stalks. It's a one pass. Mm-hmm. It's fast, and it leaves it in good shape.
And look at there. Is that a custom sprayer?
Custom sprayer, yes, detailed.
Pretty sweet.
Anhydrous tanks to fill.
Yeah.
Seed tenders for in spring.
And there's a semi getting another scale unloaded in the background there after it made its little lap.
See, the main thing with this lawn display, I had to have an in and out of both of these so it flows and everything isn't in the way. So it's in the blacktop, weigh, dump, unload, and come back to gravel, back to the highway. And that's another thing, I had to work with this gravel. This is just a certain type of paint with some speckles I just kind of sprinkled on to get the gravel look. I didn't want to go with a grayer color because it blends in too much with the cement.
Yep.
Because I have grass, gravel, blacktop, and cement to work with. So you need kind of 4 colors.
Gotcha. All right, now they're kind of crossing over here, and there's an empty truck leaving, and now we're getting to the sales barn type. This looks like kind of before Saturday, but before we get there, we see here like these custom ditches. It's even swooping down a little bit, if you can see that.
I just tried to, as I was making this highway, because a lot of times when you're driving, the ditches are lower and they're more rough. I just tried to get some paint to like melt the foam and get a more of an indented look, just so it wasn't so smooth.
Mm-hmm. See, it turned out pretty good. All right, so go ahead and quickly talk about this. Got the auction barn. Looks like we got cattle trailer coming in, maybe loading up a few heads, it looks like.
Right. So years back here, probably 20, 25 years ago, none of this was here. There was an old barn that was ready to fall down. They tore everything down, started over with this sales barn. It's a real classic design with the inside and the loading. And we had just them 2 little lean-to buildings for cattle. That's how it started. And as the business grew, same type of thing. Now this way, people, if you have a semi has to enter through the back gravel, come back here, and the semi will be able to make that corner, and they have to pretty much load and unload in this building, like right here, right up to that door. Then once they're loaded, they drive out of the gravel here into the front and go out the blacktop onto the highway again. Now, smaller trucks and trailers can come in here and unload. Like he's unloading some sheep. This is a smaller semi that can unload here. And then there's a couple small loading docks. There's a couple small loading docks right here. Now, here's a couple cows just coming in. And then if we're really busy and if there isn't a trailer here, we can even unload here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple cows walking off there, the chute. Maybe the farmer and his dog looking at it.
Yeah. Now, as you can see, Jack, there's not an auction today as far as the livestock, but there are some here. But as the livestock comes in, we hold them in all these pens, and then once they're sold, we sort them in these gates here in pens to keep all the buyers' cattle separate.
What do you use for the bedding here?
It's sawdust,
okay.
right off of a saw.
Mm-hmm. You're holding, it's like some Holsteins, Black Angus.
This right in here, Jack, is just a working area. So like now they've got the skid loader, they're kind of cleaning up some of the manure, and then right on this under the roof, there's just some storage for corn stalks and hay. So if they need to feed cattle, they've got it. And then we do have small squares somewhere for along these fence line feeders. There's a fence line feeder there that we can just put some small squares, and there's also one in here. See, there's no cattle in here now. We're waiting for the sale to start in a couple of days, and then as them, this whole building is for market cattle. The thinner cattle that get sold, because one buyer or two buyers buy most of them, and then this can all be loaded on the semi.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Pig's eating there. Another skid loader maybe doing some work. A couple in and out doors quick for the people to look for the auction. Looks like somebody's going in, or a woman's going into auction. There's a pop machine there. A couple trucks. All right, well, I mean, it's really impressive, this semi with the hay on there. Kind of talk about, maybe it looks like there's even a little hay auction going on.
Well, actually, it was going to be the hay auction, but we need small squares for our business. So we are going to buy the whole load of, there's about 800 small squares on there. We're going to buy, the auction is going to buy this from this, and we're going to get it unloaded. A couple kids after high school are going to help us unload. We're going to buy it from him, but this auction is going on at 10 o'clock today. These are for private people.
Looks like the driver there is just relaxing there, waiting for his turn. But yeah, got all these different types of lots here to buy hay. Even got a farmer there maybe checking some out. Interested in them big squares.
Corn stalks, some net wrap bales of twine, straw, big squares, medium square corn stalks, small squares of corn stalks. A lot of times you'll see these white wrap bales. No, that's more of like a high moisture hay that people wrap them.
Looks like a bale kind of got messed up when he was trying to unload it there.
Here's a throw baler. The guy says there's 100 and some bales in there. We take his word for it. A couple bales of straw. Now here's a farmer that's got it all stacked. We know for sure there's 120 bales on there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few odds and ends for people can buy how much they want and have. There's a round feeder for sale. Even pumpkins for sale from the FFA.
Sure enough, pumpkins for sale, FFA, maybe even an FFA student sitting there waiting for this busy Saturday, hopefully to make some money. Pretty sweet piece. So what were kind of the most challenging things about this display to make? Is that was a good overview. I mean, the hillsides look really nice and realistic. Looks like they're all in separate pieces. Has a nice little background fall filler. The colors match.
Probably, Jack, the most challenging thing for me is these grain legs and these out of these distributor caps. To first of all get these built, to glue them so they stay on, and get these little spouts going to all the bins. Now you notice they're going to some, they're going out of here, they're working on some, but I just didn't have the time especially when you haul it in the car. Mm-hmm. If you could leave this at home, you could leave it and it'd be better, but it's really hard to get these things to stay in. So, I mean, that's hard to do. The train is hard. As you can see, it almost should be nailed down the track so it doesn't move. I didn't nail it down here because it's just a one-day show or two-day show. But it's hard to get a train look, to work and look right. But at least it was a good visual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it looks really good no matter what. Nice little big overview here as we're on day 2 of the show. custom pieces all over this place. We got the John Deere Gator, custom bags. Looks like you got some corn kind of coming out. Open grain bin, you see that a lot. Some openings there. Stop signs. Big logo for the Valley Growers. Big scene.
Speaking of the Valley Growers, the main reason we did that on the sign up here, Jack, if you can focus in on that, that was the main things the business had. And the reason I chose Valley Growers Association is mainly because of this. This sign was on the elevator on the kit. So as long as that was on there, we just went with that name for the whole theme.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that kind of basically touches everything up. Another great display, Jim. How long did this take you to make?
I pretty much start at Thanksgiving, and I work at nights on it for a couple hours till Christmas, and now this is the 5th of January, so I would say a month and work each night, a couple hours on it.
Okay. All right, well, there you guys have it. Another great display here made by Jim Belke.